Heyo, Reset here. I'm really excited about this one. If you saw one of my previous videos, I turned Wii remote controllers into MIDI controllers, and I'd like to explore that a bit more by turning these Joy-Cons into musical instruments as well too. And I came across two main ways I'd like to turn these Joy-Con into musical instruments, and let's explore that today. There's a MaxForLive device made by GPS. They turn their Joy-Con into a MIDI controller where you press the buttons and it triggers MIDI. So yeah, let's load up that MaxForLive device. So ran into a slight problem already in the start of the video. Yeah, that MaxForLive device doesn't work anymore. I think something about maybe the Joy-Cons updating their firmware. So I guess I'm making a MaxForLive device. Let's go.
So technically, this is my first MaxForLive device. I was playing with Max previously in the past for some school, and lately I've been doing it a lot at work. So yeah, I'm very much in the Max mode right now, and that definitely helped me make this from scratch. I'm very fortunate that Max just released a new gamepad object, which was literally made for interfacing video game controllers with Max MSP. So yeah, thank you so much, Cycling74. You really saved this project. It took a bit of logical work to get the Joy-Con to output MIDI for Ableton, but nothing like a few Google searches away to get it working. I got really frustrated about 5 hours into patching this as I couldn't get the interface to look exactly how I wanted to, but honestly, at this point, I was just concerned with getting the project started and done, as opposed to making this whole video about patching and creating a MaxForLive device. So yeah, here it is.
Okay, so I finally got it working. It's a little jank, but you know what? Just for making it on the fly, that's good enough for now. So pairing the Joy-Cons to your computer is actually really easy. If you just like hold the sync button that you normally do for syncing the controller, it should show up as a Bluetooth device on your computer. Yeah, you can play a major scale with these Joy-Cons. This is a weird thing where it goes to my launchpad on Mac, but I mean, if you're performing, you won't look at your screen anyway, so that's fine. So what's really cool about what I set up is that you can also map these joysticks to other parameters in the DAW. That's something you couldn't do in the previous MaxForLive device. So we could map the left stick X and Y axis and the right stick X and Y axis. So yeah, let's try mapping this. I'll map the left stick X axis to the frequency. So yeah, as I'm moving the stick, we can see it's moving now. And we'll map the Y to the wavetable. So yeah, I can go up and down on the joystick, and it's going up and down on the wavetable. And then also, I can open and close the filter. You really have 360-degree control on the analog stick. And I set it up so you can map up to 2 parameters per axis. So maybe we can map the X-axis, I don't know, maybe the attack too as well. And then we can also limit this as well too. Because these are triggering individual notes, we can do something like trigger drum sounds with this. So if we loaded a drum rack, yeah, so you can do some things like that. We can try to play some leads with this. Because I just made this control layout setup, I'm not the most skilled at it, but we could try something there. So now that I've made this into a mappable instrument, I want to explore another way that we can use these Joy-Cons as a musical instrument through the HD rumble. Which means the Joy-Cons can vibrate very precisely and very specifically. So precise that we can actually send it MIDI data to play it back like a sequencer. So we can actually have these Joy-Cons vibrate the note that we want. So first, we've got to pair our Joy-Con to the computer, and we can do that by accessing the sync buttons on the back right over here. I'm just gonna hold sync, and they're gonna do the dotted thing for a sec. Oh, there they are. There's the left one, and there's the right one. Now that they're synced, we can actually use them like an instrument. I don't know exactly how I came across this program. I think I literally just Googled like JoyCon MIDI controller and I found this GitHub page where someone had written a program that lets them upload MIDI into the Joy-Con. And it's free, so really awesome on them. Thanks Magician for putting that program together. You should definitely check it out. I'm gonna leave my Joy-Con here. I got a rubber mat to help sort of reduce the amount of vibration into the table. Yeah, I made a short MIDI clip as a test using my song Seagulls Fly Away. If I export this out and then I open up the free Joyful Player program, I can see that my Joy-Con are connected to the computer. Open the MIDI file. I'll hit parse, then assign to tracks. Let's hit convert data. Yeah, let's have a listen hearing it being played through some Joy-Con. Man, the low notes really vibrate, but if you hold it close enough to your ear, it's much more clear to hear. So maybe I'll try holding this up so it doesn't vibrate so much against the table. It'll be picked up by the microphone here instead. It's like buzzy on some notes. I wonder if there's a way for us to clean up that sound. When I previously did this test like a couple of years ago, I actually used an old iPad as the base for the vibration. We can try using that again. Yeah, the bass notes are definitely much more pronounced now. I wonder if I can hold the controllers. Will that mute it a bit more? Yeah, that definitely sounds so much cleaner. So I was thinking, that sounded really cool with just 2 Joy-Con. I'm wondering how far can we actually go with this? So we know we can do it with 2 Joy-Con, 4 Joy-Con, 6 Joy-Con, 8 Joy-Con, 10 Joy-Con, 12 Joy-Con? We could probably go even higher, but this was as much as I was able to wrangle up for this experiment just by borrowing some of my friends and family's switches. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, I got straight to work trying to connect all of my Joy-Con, but I immediately hit a roadblock. I totally forgot that computers have a Bluetooth device limit. Yeah, I was only able to connect up to 5 Bluetooth devices on my MacBook, so damn, that's a bummer. And then I was thinking like, how else could we get this to work? I really want to hear what a 12 Joy-Con orchestra would sound like. If one computer can connect about 5 individual Joy-Con, that can only mean one thing. We just need more computers. So, got my old 2012 MacBook Pro, and I'm just borrowing my sister's old MacBook Pro as well. If these 3 computers can connect 4 Joy-Con each, and I hit play all at the same time, then it theoretically should work. Just to figure out, I need a way to hit play on all 3 computers at once, but let's get it all hooked up. Okay, we have them all connected. I don't think I've made this many Bluetooth connections ever in one sitting. There's like 12 Bluetooth controllers. Okay, I'm really excited. I'm like, don't know what's gonna happen, but I think it's gonna be very cool. Now I gotta hit play at the same time. That's what my plan is. I got these Bluetooth mouse, and they're connected to 2 of the computers, and I'm just gonna have them set to the play button on top of it, and all I need to do is just click the left mouse button, and yeah, hopefully this should work. This is the moment of truth. Let's see how this goes. Really cool. Okay, what's a way to get better clean audio here? So like we could put something on top to dampen them, I think. This is kind of a jank solution, but I'm thinking to make the sound even more resonant, we can try to use a cardboard box that I just found. And also I think these elastic bands might help so the Joy-Cons don't rattle around so much. I tried a few different things to reduce the amount of rattle, and I think actually just this iPad 2 case works the best, just like to absorb the vibration and still let it ring out without too much noise. So yeah, let's give that a shot. So that's all for this video. Let me know what you think. If you didn't see the Wii Remote video, I highly recommend you check that out. Those are much more well-rounded instruments. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. Otherwise, take care.